Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City just a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson, with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you're interested in buying or selling a home in the area, or if you're looking at investing in a rental property, give us a call at 423-930-8003, and we will look forward to helping you. Now, let's get to today's episode. Today on Johnson City Living Podcast, we're sitting down with Josh Smith, a familiar face to anyone who's lived in the Tri-Cities for the last few decades. Josh spent more than 20 years as a trusted news anchor at WJHL. Now an adjunct instructor of media and communication at ETSU. He's also working for Ballot. He's got a new business he started. He's an amazing husband. He's an amazing father and just an all-around great guy. And I'm glad to call you friend. Welcome to the podcast again.
Am I a repeat guest?
You are one of the elite that we call back because you're so special.
I'm honored to be here.
Well, you are just like a local celebrity. I feel honored to just be able to sit down with you. And so thank you for taking some time.
Well, you and I, though, have been friends for years.
For years.
For years and years and years.
I don't even know how many. Probably 15 or 20.
Lots and lots of mutual connections. Honestly, if we weren't doing a podcast, it'd be just good to sit down and talk to you.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Well, my pleasure. And then we get to record it so we can listen back one day.
And I'm an even bigger fan of your wife.
Yes, Carly is. That's why everybody says that.
And I'm a monstrously big fan of your mom.
Oh.
And your dad.
Yeah, they're both good.
They're both incredible, but your mom's cool because she's from England.
She is cool from England. She's very lovely.
Do your viewers know this about you?
That I'm 50% British.
That you're 50% British.
Yeah.
You could be a citizen of the UK, probably. I don't know.
I think I can. I think I can,
Probably
which
could.
I need to do. I've got a good friend who's English, and he gives me grief because he says I'm not English, and I'm like, hey, I think I am.
I think you are.
If you're 50, can't you round it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And so if I got my dual citizenship, I may do it just to get Adrian. I think I'll do that.
You have lots of family over there, don't you?
We used to have some family that, no, not
Not
anymore.
anymore.
We had a smaller family, and my aunt, Phyllis, passed away probably 7-8 years ago, and that was the last living member of our family over there.
Her Majesty the Queen died, so that's one family member you're not related to.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, we don't like to.
Don't
Yeah, it's a little. We're still a little
So
sad.
fresh.
Still a little sad, but it's pretty nice to go to the palaces and things occasionally.
I know this is the Johnson City Living Podcast, so we're not talking about your British roots, but it's
Good,
I think it's
segue.
One of the coolest things about you is that you have kind of this global
feel.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. All right. So Johnson City Living Podcast, back to it. What's your favorite thing about Johnson City? And you can't use mountains or people.
Oh, dude. You should have given me questions ahead of time.
It's more fun to put you on the spot.
For me, the thing I love the most about Johnson City is the fact that it is unapologetically kind of funky, the best possible way. Like it defies all the expectations because it is a mountain town, but at the same time, there are people like your parents who live here.
That's right.
And who have a global perspective.
Yeah.
It is a small town, but you can do some real big town things here. I was at the Martin Center at ETSU the other night and seeing the show. Holy cow.
It's unbelievable.
It's incredible. So it's quaint, but it's also edgy.
Yep.
It's clean and safe, but it's also, there's some parts of it a little grungy.
Mm-hmm.
I love all of that.
Yes.
And the fact that there's a scrappiness to it.
Agreed. I think that's
I hope that's making sense.
A wonderful description. Yeah, I think a lot of people, we used to have people joke, I don't think they were joking when they'd call and be like, hey, we're coming to East Tennessee, and do you have indoor plumbing kind of thing? And this was probably 20 years ago. Now we're number one place to move in the world. And so obviously we have lots of indoor plumbing here.
I married a Floridian whose family moved here because they thought here was incredible.
Yeah.
And my family's been here for, I'm not lying, several.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. How did you arrive in Johnson City?
I was birthed at the
here,
old Bristol Hospital.
Nice.
And my mother is from Johnson County, Mountain City. My father from Bristol, and their families before them for generations were from here. Poor, laboring, mostly farmers.
Mm-hmm.
and had not strayed far.
Yeah.
For gosh, Colin, I mean, as far as we can find, they were here.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, that's either they loved it here or they didn't have options.
Right.
And the world I grew up with in was they loved it here. These were people that could have gone elsewhere, but they chose to stay.
Yeah.
And they were so grateful to be here. And they taught me very early on to be proud of the fact you were from here.
Yeah, agreed.
And to love it here.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad had the opportunity to move to a bunch of different medical schools. I found out later. He just said, you know, after looking at moving to like a Boston and being a part of a big, or you know, wherever, he said, I just wanted to stay here and have my kids be raised here. And he sacrificed for us, right, for that, because he could have had some more notoriety or more money or whatever, but I am so grateful for that, I think, on the backside of it, you know, and because it's just an unbelievable place to live.
It is. Can I ask a question about your dad?
Yes, sir.
When did he move to? He came here for the College of Medicine.
When
right?
they started,
Quillen?
back
Oh,
in
really?
78, I think we moved here.
Wow. So
Yeah.
he was here for the new venture.
He
that
was,
the Quillen College of Medicine.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Incredible.
Yeah, pretty neat.
There's such an amazing story about the foundation of that school.
Yeah,
and the early years of it.
If you go to episode 91 or 2, I think we interviewed my dad on here, so you can listen to it. He talks about the genesis of the med school. It's pretty cool.
My eldest just got accepted to the medical school and will start next year. And so I'm especially interested in the history of the place and learning more about it and its mission and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
I think it was started, and I think it's still the mission of it is rural medicine.
Absolutely.
Like they really want to help the people in Appalachia.
Serving the underserved.
Serving the underserved. Yeah. So how did we'll just briefly get into it because I think you could go back to one of the other podcasts and listen, but media, what interested you in that and getting into your role as an anchor?
Wow, that's a big one. I could jokingly say I got into broadcasting because I didn't want to take math at the University of Tennessee. And there's a huge part of that that's the truth.
Yeah, I think I should be in a broadcaster too because I didn't want to take math.
I don't math.
I didn't do math well there.
And I was just insecure enough that I'd had to make all A's to feel good about myself.
Oh, gotcha.
So I wasn't going to dare major in something that required a mathematics degree. And so I walked to the advisor's office and I said, what can I take? What can I major in? And she said, communications.
There you go.
And I'm not lying to you. That's how it started. Yeah. And I had a work-study job and at the College of Communications, and it was there that I found out about radio and television. But, growing up before then, Colin, we grew up in a world where you waited for the paper to land on the front porch, and you showed up in front of the television at 6:00 p.m. to see what had happened and watch the news and watch the weather. And I grew up, and part of my life was in Elizabethton and in Mountain City, and my dad, his job took us around the area, but it was depending on which television you could get on your rabbit ears, which was WCYB or WJHL,
How much aluminum foil do you have?
Exactly. And I grew up respecting the news because we needed the news.
Yeah.
And I thought the news was a service. So that, plus it didn't require a lot of math. That's how it happened. I got summer jobs. I needed to work. My parents made that very clear. And I got summer jobs during my college years at WCYB in Bristol, the NBC affiliate.
Nice.
Got to meet an incredible man named Steve Hawkins, who was the longtime news director and anchor there. And he just gave me chance after chance after chance. I did not deserve any of them. I should have probably been terminated many times over. But so when I graduated from UT, he was like, I started
got a
working.
place for you.
Yeah. And I was working about as entry-level a job as you get. I would run the teleprompter for Merrill Moore, who was I would produce some newscasts for Johnny Wood and got a chance to work with these real incredible, committed to our region journalists.
Yeah.
And they were real newsmen. They weren't in it to be on television.
Right.
They were in it because they believed in the purpose and value of good journalism.
Yeah.
So that was how it started for me.
What do you feel like the future of journalism is? It feels like the level of trust in the media has gotten a little, and then with AI stuff now, you don't know what to trust. Is that even a real picture I'm looking at or a video? And so where do you see the future of journalism headed?
Wow. If you and I figure that out,
We can make some money.
We're hitting the road. I think you hit on the two things right there. Number one is the erosion of trust, but also the emergence of technology. I mean, when I started in 1995 was my first full-time job, 94 really. People still had three options for local news.
Yeah.
And they had CNN maybe, and they had headline news, and the options were just so. And newspaper were still huge,
right?
And radio was still huge.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, so first the trust factor.
Right.
I was on the news during the complete erosion of trust.
When did that occur, you think?
Well, when I first got into the business, there was, I remember my grandfather really thought Richard Nixon was unfairly convicted. and he thought Walter Cronkite was the biggest shyster in America. And so that was one side of my family. So there's been distrust for all those years. The other side of my family, not so much. They were differently persuaded politically.
Gotcha.
So I grew up with that sort of understanding. There was some distrust there. But honestly, I do think that, I'll be very honest with you, I think media bias, media lost that credibility. They deserve the lack of trust, and not necessarily all. We used to be called the liberal media, and I was like, we report on, local government, house fires, car wrecks, craft shows. I mean, what are you talking about?
Right, how are we biased?
So, but I just watched it happen, and I'll tell you, a huge part of the dissolving of trust was the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was really I'll never forget it. It was the first election for President Trump, where a lot of people at that point, I think he began to question the legitimacy of media, and you could argue in a lot of cases justifiably question because of the bias that was barely hidden on both sides, and the emergence of the Fox News versus the CNN. I had to choose which news based on what I like and think, right?
Instead of just
it's the news, it's the facts, right? Now I get to choose my version of facts, and that emerged all at the same time. Then there was the pandemic, and then there was the second election where a lot of people in our area really felt like they didn't trust the electoral process.
Oh yeah.
And they felt the media. I mean, I had people accusing me of being part of a conspiracy. And I'm like, and of course, we're in Johnson City. We're trying our best to do a good job with the information we have.
Right.
So all of that seemed to accelerate to me.
Yeah.
To the point that I really did begin to think, I don't know that people trust me anymore. And I had a lot of love for many years, so grateful for that. But I began to hear people say, I don't believe you anymore. And that was hard for me.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask, how did you take that? Because I know you, and I know
terribly personally.
I mean, I know your heart. You're a good dude, and you love Jesus, and you want to provide, just ethical truth. And I'm sure it was, hard to be called up.
You're a realtor. You meet people who are dubious of someone in your line of work because of some preconceived notion that they have. So you know what it's like. I think, I have friends who are attorneys. They've lived with the jokes for years. Unfortunately, I've seen, people even begin to distrust educators, other people who are doing their best every day, working in healthcare, really, truly just don't trust people anymore. So it's not just limited to media. So how did I react? It was hurtful for me. I felt like I'd tried so hard. But at the same time, I was able to really see where people were coming from.
Right.
In a lot of ways, they could point to a moment where they felt like they'd been misled.
Yeah.
Or the trust that they had given had been violated.
Sure.
So I could be disturbed by it, but at the same time, I could sympathize with it, and I understand where people are, today. They're just trying to find their way through the media culture. And you mentioned the tech, which is the whole other part of it. Is like there are 12-year-olds with TikTok accounts that have more viewers than I would get in the 6 o'clock news. No lie, it.
Right. It's crazy.
And so the power has completely been disseminated. And there's much of that I love.
Well, I was going to say that could be a good thing.
I mean, look at this. You would have, and back in the day, needed a TV gig to be able to do this.
Right.
Now we're in this great studio here, talking to people with no barriers.
Yeah, it is
cool.
cool.
I love it. And there's a lot that has to be figured out and sorted out in the midst of that.
Yeah, it is. It's challenging for sure.
It is.
What would be some advice for some listeners? Like, where do you go for your news, or where do you go to find truth? And in the in this midst of like so much is coming at you all the time. We're being marketed to like never before, and then you almost kind of worry that you're being marketed to through the news a lot too. And so how do you process that, and what would be some advice for our listeners?
I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I have dramatically disengaged from the information pipeline since getting out of the news business. I realized at some point that part of the marketing of news has become, we have information that you need to know.
Right.
And some of that is true. And in some cases it's true. But much of it, really don't need to know. And I don't say that in any way to malign the industry. People are in the news business and they've
100%.
got content. They need to get it to their viewers for so many reasons, their readers for so many reasons. I realized myself, I cannot maintain personally an equilibrium of peace and joy and trust if I'm constantly surrounding myself with the raging faces in the box,
Right.
namely the state of television now these days. And so I don't really consume a lot of news, Colin. Honestly, I don't. I feel a little guilty telling.
That's okay. We won't tell too many people.
I don't. I'm pretty much. I have social media, but I've taken it off my phone and I don't look at it.
Yeah.
And I have really tried to limit my intake significantly. So you asked me what advice I would have. I would say to people, be very intentional about being very broad in your intake. Be very concerned if you only listen to one source because it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that a bias isn't something to be avoided, but it's everywhere.
Sure.
It's unavoidable, and so maybe a slight sampling from the buffet of information that's out there. And really, I think we're all going to have to get to the point where we begin to construct some guardrails for our consumption of media, because otherwise, we're going to get lost in it. At least I am. My personality type is I get lost in it, and there's a world out there.
I know,
a beautiful world, and
you can go explore on your own and figure out lots of stuff.
A lot of stuff on your own. So it's figuring out a healthy balance.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm hearing more and more people saying I'm scaling back. I'm turning it off. I'm not. And then I think if you're curious, you go research it.
Yeah.
And like you said, multiple different areas and multiple different sources, and then create your own assumptions at the end.
And also, I would say create your own content. And I have. This is kind of where my brain is lately. I have met some people who are really, truly committed to the idea that I am going to put some positive stuff out there in the world.
That's what we're here
and
doing
that's
right
what
now.
you're doing
We're
here.
doing it right now. Yeah.
And so, you know what? They're not like me, who've taken Facebook off their phone and they're hiding in a hole so they don't have to hear it. They're out there saying, you're welcome to put anything you want in the comments, and we live in an incredible place.
Yeah.
And this is a wonderful thing. And guess what? God loves you, and you love your wife, and she loves you, and you have kids, and the goodness that is out there.
So many good things.
I know I'm at that point where I'm thinking, what's it look like to live in a hole versus what's it like to get up out of the hole and go out into the world and put some good stuff out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not there yet, but I'm feeling the tug.
Okay. I like it. Well, maybe we'll have to have you back for a fourth time to tell us all about what's
I think I'm
going on
about
with
to get thrown out of it as it is.
All right. Well, that's a nice segue into, teaching at ETSU, because you're leading young minds there, and I'm sure in a great positive way.
In a small way, I'm an adjunct professor, and it's an opportunity for me to work. I'm so proud of our university. I know you are too.
I love it.
Yeah. And I have had the privilege. It's ironic that I stopped television news in July of 2023, and I started teaching television news in August of 2023. So, it's been stunning, Colin. I go into the class every semester and I say, how many of you watch the news? None of them. How many of you have television? A television.
A television.
Well, I do at my mama's house. No. You. Where you? None of them.
Really?
They have,
They're
they're
just looking
college
at-
students. They're young. They don't need it. They've got their phones. They've got devices. They don't need it.
Right.
Right. I can watch stuff. I don't need it. How many of you get a pay? And then at this point, they're like, "Are you kidding? No." So it's made me realize that the future of media is going to be dramatically different because your kids and my kids are not consuming media the way we did at all.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. So I've enjoyed it, and it's been great. It's just it's been a small teaching opportunity for me, and I'm grateful for the chance, as I'm sure you are, anytime to share what you've learned.
What's your favorite thing about it?
Well, honestly, it's learning from these young people. The danger of getting into your 50s is you start hanging out with people who are in their 50s, and your interactions with people of different generations can become quite minimized. I didn't expect that. And now, my son's brought home a bunch of buddies from UT, and they were at the house, and you begin to realize, like, in their eyes, I'm like this old man,
Right.
and it's like, you've been through this.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm in my 50s.
and they're used to talking to their people their age. And,
Right.
And especially the 20 somethings.
Yeah.
Haven't spent a lot of time talking to older
Do
people.
you catch yourself saying bro a lot? Like, it's cool, bro.
I try.
Yeah,
I
me too.
try. And my kids are like,
I'm like, I like your drip. Is that how you say that? Or you got nice fit, the
Fit,
flow.
that's
Your
it,
lettuce
but-
looks
yeah.
really good. Christian's just like, he'll sit there and
No.
Cameron, they're both like, what are you doing, Dad?
Don't. No, even worse coming from me. So
Right.
my favorite part's getting just honestly to absorb the worldview that these kids have. And they are, it's easy for every generation to go like, oh, kids these days are just on their phones. Well, guess what? No, they're actually, the kids I'm teaching are very smart, very curious, very compassionate, concerned. They want to go out in the world and do something. And so it's inspired me.
Yeah. Do you think they're, when I look back on our college days, right? We went to UT and probably there together. Fear was in my mind a little bit like, what am I going to do? And now with AI and this, tech revolution that's everybody's talking about how it's going to eliminate a ton of jobs.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that anxiety level increase a little bit there with your students? And
Well, that's a great question. Now that I really am. I heard I've heard just conversationally throughout the past semester, well, these certain types of job sectors there's not going to be jobs there. It's going to be replaced. And even around media and content creation, hey, Chat GPT, create a podcast,
Right.
and create a visual with two guys. One of them's got great hair and one doesn't. And let's talk about Johnson City, and hit return, and it's there. And they're thinking, wow. My son, as I mentioned, wants to go into healthcare, or I think I mentioned before we started rolling, he wants to go be a doctor. So what's that going to do? Are people going to get to the point that they can get AI to just buy them and find them a house? I think we're all a little bit uneasy about it. I don't freak out about it though, Colin. I'm confident. I think we're going to be fine, and I think we're going to find an equilibrium. And those people who it's like my grandparents,
Right.
they grew tobacco.
Right.
Well, I'm not growing tobacco. I've just moved and found something else to do, and I feel like I'm a hopeful individual mostly.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
we're going to
Yeah.
be okay.
Yeah. I think we have an opportunity to choose joy, like you said earlier, choose positivity and hope, and instead of worrying about what could happen instead.
I'm hopeful that it creates a better world for our kids.
I think it will. Yeah. And I think it's going to create other opportunities for jobs that we haven't even thought about.
Yeah, right.
And it's still in the back of it all, it's run by humans, like we are all putting together all the data, researching. And anyway, there's still, I think, a lot of jobs for sure. But
For sure.
yeah, I'll just hope that they're not, stressed out too much.
No.
It's kind of crazy. You also work at Ballad Health a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your role there and what you're doing for our local healthcare.
I was fortunate enough to get to cover healthcare really from the creation of from the transition of community hospitals into health systems.
Yeah.
And I was able to reported on the formation of Mountain States Health Alliance and the formation of Wellmont Health System, and then the formation of the two health systems into one, and all that has involved. And really along the way, it became very clear to me from where I stand that the two biggest issues facing our region are healthcare and education.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew, and I'm pretty convinced it's hard to know, how incredibly high risk is the world of rural healthcare in America these days, and how many communities don't have hospitals for miles,
right,
because they're closing. And so I really do. I really think for our region, healthcare is huge.
Yeah.
And so the opportunity came for me to step into the position of consumer advocacy, which is a lot of what I did in journalism anyway, But the work I'm doing is working across the health system with, I'm not lying, some of the most incredible humans I've ever met in my life, who are so dedicated every day in the midst of so many challenges to provide amazing care as best as we can in rural communities.
Yeah.
And figuring out what's the friction, what's creating barriers, what's causing problems, and how do we get through that together?
Yeah.
And I'm not clinically trained. I wish I had half of your dad's brain in terms of understanding medicine, but I do understand that a lot of it is communication. I bet you'd say the same thing in real estate.
Oh, yeah.
There's this much of it is the actual transaction of the business.
Right.
This much of it is, how do you feel? What's your perception of me? What's my perception of you? And if we can get that part right while delivering amazing services, then people are going to, I think, feel like I've been seen and heard and cared for as an individual. And that's the work I'm doing a lot lately. It's around the communication piece. And I have learned more in 2.5 years of doing it that I learned in the past 40 years of work. So it's been great.
Yeah.
It's challenging, very hard. I just feel so grateful. And I was at the Niswonger Children's Hospital a few days ago. Regions like ours should not have a children's hospital like that.
It's amazing.
They should not.
And they're adding on. Like
they just added a floor. It's not exactly a cash positive thing to do to provide pediatric care anywhere in the country.
Right.
And they keep plowing on, mission driven. I'm Lee County, Virginia is a great example. That's a hospital that was shut down, and it was acquired through Ballard, and that community and lawmakers worked together to reopen that hospital. And so now there's a source of help and hope for people in far, far, far Southwest Virginia who otherwise would be in deep trouble when an emergency happens. And now they have really, one of the top performing in terms of patient satisfaction hospitals in the country. So it's exciting for me to see it, and it's an honor to be a part of it.
Yeah. I'd heard rumors that we were hoping to be like a research facility, kind of like a Duke or a Vanderbilt here. Do you see that in the future?
Well, I'm not part of that discussion, but boy, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Wouldn't that be cool?
And to leverage, there's already an amazing partnership between East Tennessee State University and the health system.
Yeah.
So I think any opportunity to grow that would be amazing. And, Duke is doing specific types of research. We have people and health issues in our region that are specific to our portion of the rural America.
Right.
And so I'd love to see that happen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, I think it would. Because, you hear a lot of people like, well, I'm going to go down to Vandy, and why? Just stay here,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and sometimes you have to.
And sometimes you have.
Yeah, and sometimes that's where there's the leading research is done. And I tell you what, if it's my loved one, I want to get them to the best in the country.
Yeah.
And figure out how to pay for it later.
Yeah.
Right. But there is so much potential here.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful.
Yeah. All right. Shifting gears again. You told me before we got going that you have started a new business. I'm excited to hear all about it. This is like news to me right now.
It's not that, it's fairly new. But I it's a communication consulting business. So I'm just basically, let's see. I'm bad at selling myself, but
give us the pitch.
Well,
listeners, would you like to hire Josh Smith? Here you go. Here's his pitch.
Funny. I have had friends for years. When you're in journalism, you ethically, really, I cannot coach people in terms of how to be effective in their communication skills, both on television or in public. I didn't feel ethically empowered to do that, especially if someone was running for political office, or I felt limited by the fact that I was a journalist and I wasn't here to help you out in your messaging. I'm here to help spread, to report on your message. So since then, I've had an opportunity to help some people I believe in and trust to become better presenters in public and better presenters on camera.
Oh, wow.
And so a friend of mine recently said, why are you doing this for free? And I'm like, well, why? No one would pay me for this. And it was like, yeah, they would. And then I found out actually, no, some people want to actually compensate you for it. So it's been a transition for me to be able to, honestly, man, to be able to say, I actually maybe could use some of the experience that I have and the skills that I learned and the tactics and abilities that I gained through years of practice and looking like a fool in public on multiple occasions to go, oh, wait a minute, that's how you do it. Here's how you get in the right headspace. Here's how you formulate a cohesive, concise message, and here's how you deliver it with confidence. So it's called Strong Communication Consulting, and I'm helping people become strong communicators. And I just have a few clients, and I only work with people that I believe in.
Oh, I love it.
So if you ask me and I say no, it's because I have concerns. No.
Well, I won't ask you on air then, so we'll save ourselves some embarrassment.
I get a chance to, I've never said no, because unfortunately, if somebody wants to be a good communicator, it's most of the time because they want to be effective. And
I think Carly's probably calling your number now to sign me up so I can be a good communicator.
No, man, you're a natural. For people like you who have 1,000 megawatts of energy, the communicating's not the problem. Maybe. Let me ask.
Sometimes I think it is.
It's figuring out how to hone all that in and focus it into a way and a brand that if people come and they say, hey, who's Colin Johnson? Then they could say succinctly, as opposed to, oh my gosh, he's, a billion things. And sometimes we want to be a billion things, but sometimes we need to be very focused. And
I do find myself, was listening to a podcast the other day, and one of the guests was saying that she didn't realize that she had ADHD until she was working on a project with somebody else, and they were developing a journal, and the lady who was helping her develop it goes, do you have ADHD? Because this is perfect for people with that. I love this journal. And she was like, no, I mean, my buddies, I knew some kids at school that were wild and crazy all the time, and they were just all over the place, but no, I don't think so. And then she took a test, and sure enough, so I'm kind of wondering, maybe because I get distracted easily and focused. So I'm working on it.
Also, your superpower, though, I've always thought, is you have so much energy, and you can bring that energy to 15 things at one time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So often our superpower is also our kryptonite.
Yeah.
And it's learning how to use it. And that's a big part of what I'm doing with my consulting work, is helping people figure that out.
I love it.
What do you want to stand for? What do you stand for? And let's get that, because so much of it is between your ears.
Mm-hmm.
It's people worry about the words and, what do I look like? Let's get this figured out first.
Our message.
That was it for me. The minute I'll never forget it. I completely bombed a live shot, a live report. It's horrific. I won't even go into it. It was as bad can be. And I don't think it's on YouTube, but it should be. It's that bad. I remember doing it and thinking, well, that was horrible. And no one died. I'm still here.
Right.
Everybody's okay. The worst that could happen is I look like an idiot. I did. And guess what? I'm fine. And it was as if it freed me to go, all right.
Yeah.
Let's focus on what matters.
Right.
But you have to get past that fear.
Yeah.
And you don't have that fear. A lot of us are born with that sort of, I'm afraid I'm going to say something bad and look stupid. And when you can drop that, man, it's a power.
Lived with the fear a lot. And
you?
Oh yeah. And so I still have that in the back of my brain some, because I'm afraid sometimes too that I'm going to push a little. I like to ask people, I want to get to the meat of them. I want to get down in their heart and feel, and sometimes I may push a little too hard or say something to try and get a reaction out of them or do something, and it's more hurtful than it comes off as, and so I feel bad, I'm like, "Oh, great," or Carly will be like, "Hey, you really botched that one up," or something, and I'm like, "Oh, you're right," and so, yeah, I may call you one day and be like, "Josh, I am so sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I said that like, I didn't mean to I was trying to joke with you," and so,
Yeah.
it can be. But, yeah, I still get pretty nervous at times.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And I've never picked up on that.
Well,
But
that's cool. I'm a good hider, I guess.
most of us, I mean, you hear all the time about incredible communicators, and they coped with unhealthy tools and crutches to be
Mhm,
able to get them through it.
mhm.
And there's legendary stories of news anchors who had bottles of whiskey in their desk, and that's how they got through the
Sure.
11 o'clock news at night. And so that fear is there in all of us, and part
Right.
of that is just the fear of being a fallen creature in
Yeah.
a world in need of redemption. Is
Oh, yeah.
we grow up thinking, I'm not good enough.
Satan wants to tell you that all the
Yeah, I'm
time.
not good enough. I sound dumb. I look dumb. I am dumb, and all that. And people are going to find it out unless I fake my way through this.
Right.
And the power comes when you can drop all that and just be in touch with what's real.
Well, and I think that's where, when I totally surrendered my heart to the Lord and said, I'm all yours, right? And I think at that point I kind of let go, because I think I was like trying to do it all myself or put it all on me. And I tell people a lot that God doesn't make junk. You hear people and they've got this story and they're saying these things that are bad, right? And I'm like, no, you were a wonderful, amazing creation from, and the Lord of the universe loves you and wants to talk to you and tell you that you are these things. And evil's out there telling you otherwise. And so don't listen to the evil, like, and don't promote it and don't speak it into being either. Like, I think a lot of times people they get in that headspace where they're like, I'm terrible. I'm not great. And it's self perpetuating.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw something at you.
Yeah. Bring it on.
You have people who there are people who would look at you, Colin, and go, "Well, of course you think that. You look like a daggone underwear model. You're you're married to a
Oh, Lord.
supermodel.
I am married
You
to a
have
supermodel.
beautiful children. You have a healthy, productive business. You have great parents. You get to live in the best city in the world. Um, of course, you feel that way. How do you handle that? And are you, because I do think there are people who walk around with the story
Yeah.
that I got the shaft.
Right.
I didn't get the golden ticket. Colin Johnson obviously got the golden ticket. I didn't get the golden ticket. And I mean this with the deepest love
Oh,
and
I get it.
respect,
I
but
get it.
I think of this with my children. It's like they grew up with so much and they have so much, and they're going to walk out into a world that doesn't see themselves in that same way. And many people genuinely are suffering through
Yeah.
difficulties.
Oh my gosh.
So how
So how do I, yeah,
how do you
I
integrate
did.
that?
Honestly, I did. I mean, I'm very grateful for my parents. I mean, they sacrificed and gave up. We didn't grow up with a ton of money. I mean, my dad was, this is a long time ago. And, we never wanted for anything though, and I know my parents were like, "You can do anything you want. You can be anybody you wanna be, you just gotta work hard," and so I heard that message over and over. Luckily, two-parent marriage, that's not as common, so there's not that, but I think the message is to be just living in a state of gratitude all the
Mhm.
time. For me, is what I tell people. And when I start getting down, I'm like, all right, we lost a deal, or somebody left our team, or someone's sick, or what do we have that's grateful? And because I learned in a class probably 10 or 15 years ago that gratitude is the highest form of energy there is out there. And so if you can stay in that position of like, I'm just grateful to be with Josh Smith right now and looking at his beautiful blue eyes and talking to him and being in a space where I'm safe and healthy, and I've got Mitch over here who's a good friend, and just surrounding yourself with just positive energy, it just helps. Now, I can say that because I have that going on. If I were in some awful situation where, I'm in maybe, I mean, my brain just went to like a domestic
Yeah.
violence situation where I'm stuck or, trapped, or I guess at that point it would be a different conversation, but I think you could still probably try and look for the good in that and look for someone to help you out of that situation. Or there's people love helping people, and so I think if you are feeling bad, go help somebody, and then it's the reciprocal events that are going to happen from that helping are just, it's kind of energy flowing and
Yeah,
moving and just staying in this gratitude and love and joy. And it's a choice a lot of times, and so
yeah,
you can choose to live in that and just be like, oh, or you can choose to try and move out of it. And it is a choice, unfortunately, and
yeah,
sometimes people don't think they have that choice.
yeah. You're so right, man. That's so true. You get to choose your mindset, even if you don't look like an underwear model.
Or
And
you didn't get to
yeah,
choose your parents, or
right.
you didn't get to choose where you grew up. And
I got a chance to interview some really amazing people over all those years in news, and some of them, very well known and famous and fabulous. Some of the most amazing interviews in my mind were people who were, for different reasons, in the midst of incredible hardship and had so many challenges that they never asked for or deserved, but it came their way. And in the midst of that, they had courage to be positive and to go, you know what? This is not going to be a story of how
yeah,
my life is awful.
yeah.
This is going to be a story about how my life was for something good.
Hmm.
And boy, I tell you what, those are the people I'll never forget.
Oh, I know. It's so fun. And I think for some reason there is a shift. It feels like from America believing that we are together
Yeah,
to be the best we can be.
yeah,
And instead it's like there's a division that I feel, and I'm trying to like navigate that. And like, why would we want to just divide and try and crush the American spirit and the American dream? And I mean, I don't understand it, but I'm praying against it a lot and
yeah.
don't want that.
I'm wondering, Colin, if it's not that we sometimes we forget how blessed we are. And so we begin to believe and focus on the problems, and we miss the opportunity to focus on the positives. One of the developments of my life in the past year has been that I was appointed to fill an unexpired term on a local school board for the
Oh, nice.
Elizabethton City Schools,
Yeah.
and I went to school there, and it was an opportunity that was presented to me, and I said, "Okay, public service, government." I think I'm like most people, like, are you out of your mind? Why would you want to stick your hand up and go, I'll serve?
Because somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. And unfortunately, I think what we're seeing now, and not only in our area, but across the country, are the people who are holding their hand up are people who have maybe an agenda or an axe to grind or a personal benefit from it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world you could, some of these government jobs are so thankful, and some of the local, especially local government and school boards and city councils and commissions, it's just like, but when you can say, I am so blessed to be part of a
Mm-hmm.
country and a process where somebody like me
Yeah.
could help lead and serve,
Mm-hmm.
then you begin to feel your hand going up
Right.
in the
Yeah.
air. And that was the moment for me of how blessed am I to get to live here and be here. And
Mm-hmm.
if I just sit around and take, then I'm not helping things. So
Yeah.
it's been incredibly refreshing to be a part of public service
Yeah.
in a very, very, very small way. And I'm enjoying it immensely.
For people who don't know, what is the main objective of the school board? Because
To hack people off.
well, I'm hoping you're shaping curriculum and encouraging
Yeah.
teachers and thinking about down the road, more schools, right? I mean,
Mhm.
our areas continue to grow. So are those some of the main objectives, or what are you guys really,
Yeah,
what are
I'm
you getting
certainly
down to?
no veteran of the school board, but in the several months that I've been on it, what has been an eye-opening thing for me is making me realize how at the local level, there is a tremendous amount of work to do to implement federal and state standards and to deal with federal and state funding realities.
Right.
And here in our area, then to deal with the historic challenges we've had with resources around keeping and building schools.
Mhm.
We're in Johnson City, which is, I think, one of the preeminent school systems in the state. We're so fortunate to have amazing
Our
schools.
schools test wonderfully.
Unbelievable. And we have wonderful educators.
That's why they teach.
That's right.
That's why they score well, because our teachers are wonderful.
That's exactly right. I'm aware of a lot of the districts here that have fewer resources, and for them, it's learning how to be good stewards of what little they have to be able to make it the best they can for their kids.
Yeah.
And what's been so exciting for me on the Elizabethton City School Board is watching these people who are trained educators and be so creative to figure out how to modify what they're doing to move out of the reading, writing, and arithmetic world into trying to get students not only educated and college ready, but job ready.
Yeah.
And so it's been fascinating for me to see it, and an honor to be a part of it. The main goal, I would say, for it is to fight for the kids.
Yeah. Fight
for the kids, and to do everything we can creatively to make it as good as we can.
Yeah. And if your heart's not there, don't go be on the board, right?
Don't please avoid politics altogether.
Right. Yeah. If you're self-serving in it, it's not good. It's not going to win. It's not going to turn out well for anybody.
You might pad your pocket. You might become a fixture on the evening news, but it's not necessarily going to be for the benefit of the people that we're here to serve.
Yeah. What does the future look like for you in the next 5 years? Are you like a dreamer, 5-year goal setting kind of guy?
I'm really not. And that's been something that I think I can beat myself up a little bit about that.
Okay.
I don't plan a lot out. No. I am doing well to do today.
Yeah.
With that said, I'm hoping to be of service. I really am. And that sounds like I'm trying to win a pageant, but it's the honest to goodness truth. I have had such an amazing opportunity, and I have been fortunate enough to have been given the trust, and I'm fortunate enough to be known by people who I don't know, and that is such a gift. People ask me, does it annoy you when you go to Walmart and people say hi? And the answer is absolutely not.
Yeah.
How blessed am I?
Right.
And I am asking the question prayerfully and out loud, what am I going to do with this? How can I use this in a way that's a benefit to somebody? Because it does me. It's nice. It's a privilege to get to be a part of the community in the way I was for better part of 30 years. It's just, what can I do? How can I use this of service to others? We'll see. And maybe in the next 5 years that'll happen, and maybe not. It better happen fast because I'm getting old.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So I'm wide open. I'm asking, show me.
Yeah.
Show me.
Yeah.
What's that look like? And I'm grateful for the opportunities I have now, and I'm excited for stuff that might come in the future.
Yeah. What's all right, we're gonna digress a little bit. Somewhere you and Kristen like to go just to hang out that's not maybe one of the premier restaurants in town. What's one of the hidden gems for you? Oh, and we could get some Elizabethton knowledge here. This would be good.
Are you? We're going to keep it Johnson City.
We can do all around.
It's funny you say this because my wife and I joke that we are real homebodies.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
I feel a little bit sheepish about that because I mean, honestly, I'm a pretty strong introvert, and so for me, home is a place of safety and recharging.
That's awesome.
And hang with the people and I have a busy life, and my kids and wife have a busy life. So when we're together, it's gold. Like tonight, as we record this, we have nothing planned tonight. I cannot wait.
Same.
Yes, it's so good, so
good.
With that said, I had a chance to go to the Martin Center, as I mentioned. I had a chance to go to Jonesboro Repertory Theater.
Oh yeah.
And we do escape every once in a while up to Abingdon, Virginia, to see the Barter Theater.
That's awesome.
I'm on the board of the Jackson Theater in Jonesboro, which is the newly opened theater downtown. I'm not a theater buff necessarily, but one of my favorite things to do is go and see just the incredible offering of music and drama and performance in our area.
It's unbelievable.
It's incredible. And I miss a lot of it because of life, but when I can go and see that, man, that's a place where I like to escape.
The Barter, just up the road, like 30 minutes.
World class.
It is world class. I mean, there are some unbelievable artists that come.
Yeah. Just get on the I went to the ETSU music department's Christmas concert. Blown away by just the level of talent and capability of people who are ages 18 to 22.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, we just went to the high school Christmas concert at Freedom Hall with Mark Wood and the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
Unreal. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So
right here.
For me, it's Fanny in a chair soaking up
Yeah.
the goodness of the creativity that's in our region.
Yeah. It's really, really cool.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so.
Am I doing okay?
You're doing great. You are an unbelievable communicator, and your presence is strong and not overwhelming. I love it.
How's that for a solicited
That's
compliment? Right. Enough about me. What do you think of me?
Yeah, that's right. Right. That's right. All right. What didn't I ask you that I should have before we sign off?
Oh my gosh, Colin! I think you're an amazing interviewer. I believe we've covered just about everything. My favorite topic that we did not cover is probably my favorite topic we didn't cover is probably just my family. You know, I'm like you. I hit the jackpot. I have a twin brother I love. I have the most amazing wife in the world. And, I'm like you, man. I wake up every day and roll over and go, how did this happen to me? And then I have 3 children, 21 and 18 and 12, a daughter, 2 boys and then a daughter. And so I am at a point where, anything else can go away.
Right.
But I got that bunch and I'm rich.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful. I lost both my mom and dad in the past couple of years, and getting the chance to when you lose loved ones, and many of your viewers will know that, you begin to look around at the ones you have and go, wow, I how blessed am I to have had love and to have love. And so that's it. I could talk about my wife and kids all day. You could too.
Oh, 100%. I'm so proud of my
favorite
boys.
topic.
And, yeah, it's just Carly's amazing.
My brother told me one time, he says, dude, I love your kids, but everybody's not as interested in your kids as you are. Like,
they should be.
They should be. Right.
It is true.
It is true.
But I think they're, I'm sure. Exactly.
Your wife is a style maven. She is so stylish and so, my wife has said many times, she's like, she's one of these people who looks good in anything, but she's very stylish, isn't she?
She is very
She
stylish.
knows like how to put stuff
and
together.
She's not, and luckily, thank you, Carly, but she's not like, she does it on the low cost level too.
Yeah.
Like she's not like going out and getting crazy.
She doesn't need a logo to feel good about herself.
No,
or to
she
look
just
great.
puts stuff together and you're like, oh, wow, that's really pretty.
And I think that's a gift in a way.
It is. It is. And she loves shopping and loves doing that stuff and then loves giving it away.
Yeah.
Like she just like will wear some stuff and then, there are constantly things leaving our house, which is awesome too. So
That's a good thing.
As long as it's, I keep looking around. She's good about cleaning up and organizing and getting stuff out of the house. I'm like, am I next? Are you getting rid of me? So I think it's,
she is that, rare combination. I say rare. I think it's rare of being all that on the outside and having an inside that's even more lovely and good and admirable. So she's that. It's the double gift. I would think of being her husband.
It is. She is a good lady.
Have you ever had her as a guest?
No, she interviewed me one time. She didn't want to be interviewed, but she did come on and she.
Oh, I bet that's a good one.
She interviewed me. Yeah, it was good. She didn't pull any punches. She didn't. Let's talk about this. Let's not. No, we're on the air now. We got to talk about it. So anyway.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back on. Thank you for what you're doing for our region. I'm glad that you're stepping into helping people just all through our region, whether it's on the school board, whether it's at ballot or ETSU, and now your new venture where you're helping people become better communicators. I think it's awesome. And I wish you the best and look forward to having you back on again sometime soon and hearing all the wonderful things you and your family are doing. And I just wish you the best and continue to stay in that gratitude state, and just, we're just so blessed here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Great. Come back anytime. Thank you guys for listening. Till next time, I'm Colin Johnson with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you want to buy a house, move here to the greatest place in the world and hang out with Josh Smith on the regular, we'd love to help you do that. So thanks so much. Have a great day.